So, how often do you catch yourself checking your phone while you're already watching TV? Or maybe you've noticed how a quick glance at a single notification suddenly turns into, well, an hour of scrolling, completely insulating you from the actual room you're sitting in. Welcome to this explainer. Today we're exploring a truly fascinating evolution in human behavior. We're going to look at how our personal sanctuaries have evolved from the physical walls of our homes right down to the digital screens in the palms of our hands.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here's our roadmap for the explainer. First, the origins of cocooning. Then, the factors driving the retreat. From there, enter the mobile cocoon, followed by the marketing insight study. We'll wrap up with the dimensions of mobile cocooning, and finally, the implications of a cocooned world.
All right, Section 1, the origins of cocooning. To really understand our modern mobile habits, we need to step back in time and figure out exactly where this behavioral impulse started. The term cocooning was actually coined way back in 1981 by a trend forecaster named Faith Popcorn. And what's absolutely vital to grasp here is that cocooning isn't just about being antisocial or lazy. It's a highly active strategy. It's characterized by individuals deliberately withdrawing into the security of their homes to shield themselves from perceived external dangers, uncertainties, and everyday societal stresses. It's literally about building a fortress of security and comfort.
Think about how this instinct builds across the decades. Back in the 1980s, we saw a massive rise in VCRs and home alarm systems, right? People wanted their entertainment and their security inside. Moving into the 90s and early 2000s, the home theater boom and dial-up internet give us even more reasons to just stay on the couch. And of course, jumping into the 2020s, pandemic lockdowns and the massive surge in remote work completely entrenched this lifestyle. Every wave of new technology has consistently enabled and rewarded this retreat into the home.
Section 2, factors driving the retreat. So technology is really only half the story here. To understand why we adopted these tools so eagerly in the first place, we have to look at the external threats.
The sources identify a few distinct macro threats driving this whole inward retreat. Rising urban crime rates in the 70s and 80s made public spaces feel incredibly dangerous. Then, economic volatility and stagflation made the outside world feel completely unpredictable. More recently, global pandemics and health risks literally forced us indoors for sheer survival. And underneath all of this, a steady erosion of institutional trust. When you actually look at these factors, cocooning suddenly doesn't look like a weird quirk. It looks like a totally rational response to a chaotic world.
But the nature of these threats fundamentally shifted. In the 20th century, the threats were mostly tangible, physical things. Urban decay, property crime, Cold War anxieties. You could literally lock your front door against them. Today, our threats are much more invisible. We're talking relentless information overload, biological viruses, complex economic unpredictability. Because the nature of the threats evolved, our methods of protection had to adapt too. Let's be real, a locked front door doesn't exactly stop information overload.
Which brings us to Section 3, enter the mobile cocoon. This brings us perfectly into the digital era. Let's look at how the concept of the protective physical home shifted into the digital space.
I really want you to think about this question. What happens when the cocoon fits in your pocket? When you no longer need actual physical real estate to block out the world because a glowing screen can do it for you, anywhere, at any time.
So the crucial takeaway here is that this phenomenon, known as mobile cocooning, is so much more profound than simple screen addiction. It's using mobile devices and apps to create a personalized, insulated living space. It's about centering your entire life and your socialization around the device itself, rather than your physical surroundings. The phone doesn't just connect you to the world anymore. It actually becomes your protective environment. It's a digital home you carry with you on the subway, in the office, or even while sitting at the dinner table with your family.
Let's move to Section 4, the marketing insights study. To really ground this abstract concept in reality, we're going to pivot to some fascinating empirical data. We're drawing directly from a 2018 SOMI. That stands for Studies on Marketing Insights research paper. This study focused specifically on analyzing the mobile cocooning behaviors of students living in Izmir, Turkey. It gives us this fantastic, data-driven window into how young people are actually living inside these digital spaces. The researchers surveyed 543 students aged 16 to 26. This sample size is significant because it gives excellent empirical weight to the concepts we've been discussing. We aren't just theorizing anymore, we're looking at the actual stated daily habits of hundreds of digital natives who have grown up with this exact technology. When we break down their device usage, a very clear hierarchy emerges. Out of those 543 students, 493 actively used smartphones. That's compared to 380 for laptops and 236 for tablets. While these students clearly use a multi-device ecosystem, the smartphone is overwhelmingly the cornerstone of the mobile cocoon. It's the primary vehicle for this behavior, simply because it's always on and always with them.
And what exactly are they doing inside this cocoon? Well, the app usage data is incredibly telling. WhatsApp dominates at 497 users, followed by YouTube and Facebook. This dominance of WhatsApp highlights a key feature of telecocooning. It relies heavily on constant, curated communication with our strong social ties. The cocoon isn't necessarily a lonely place, right? It's just an exclusive one, filled with carefully selected friends and family.
Moving right along to Section 5, Dimensions of Mobile Cocooning. Let's dig a bit deeper into the psychology and the daily habits sustaining this behavior. Now, what's really fascinating about this data is the blend of activities. The researchers calculated intensity scores for various tasks. The highest score, 2,262, is for chatting with friends, so deep socialization. But look right below it. Checking the time, taking photos, scrolling social media. The device seamlessly blends profound emotional connection with the most basic utilitarian tasks of daily life. By becoming a watch, a camera, and a social club all at once, the phone becomes utterly indispensable to the user's reality. Through their analysis, the researchers distilled this behavior into 8 specific psychological dimensions. Essentially, it helps users add positivity and pass time while socializing safely and turning inward. It also involves reacting negatively to any limits placed on phone use, internalizing the device as part of their very identity, solving daily problems, and curating current events. The device acts as both a shield from real-world boredom and a highly efficient tool for controlled, predictable connection. The study also revealed some fascinating demographic nuances. They found that mobile cocooning is most heavily adopted by younger users, by females within the study group, and crucially, by those who use the device primarily as a problem-solving tool. So essentially, the younger the user and the more they rely on the phone to navigate daily friction, the stronger the cocooning effect actually becomes.
And finally, Section 6, Implications of a Cocooned World. We've seen how it started and how it operates today. Now we need to neutrally examine the real-world consequences.
The source materials present a robust debate with really valid points on both sides. On the protective benefits side, cocooning undeniably boosts close family bonds. It provides verifiable safety from external physical and health hazards, and it's led to massive efficiency gains in remote work. However, on the societal drawback side, the data shows a steep erosion of broad community groups, the rise of digital echo chambers, and increased health issues tied to sedentariness. It's a complex dynamic. This behavior fiercely insulates us at an individual level, but it simultaneously atomizes us at a societal level.
There's a quote from the research that beautifully summarizes the telecocooning paradox. Digital technologies facilitate intensified interactions with strong, intimate ties, while diminishing engagement with weaker, peripheral social connections. Basically, we are fiercely, almost obsessively connected to our inner circle of trusted friends and family, but we're increasingly cut off from the broader public, the casual acquaintances, and those serendipitous encounters that traditionally build a cohesive society. Which leaves us with this final, provocative thought. Next time you pull your phone out in a crowded room, ask yourself, are we using our screens to explore the world or to hide from it? The data suggests it's a bit of both, for sure, but understanding the difference is key to how we navigate our future. Thank you for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this gives you a completely new perspective on that little digital cocoon sitting right there in your pocket.